All right, so this comes from more of my pragmatist sort of ideas, not necessarily realistic, but I think more pragmatist, if that makes any sense. So Republicans and Democrats are cringe, but let me see what the hell's the title on this here. Let me see. The hell's the title because it was something stupid. But someone will be okay. Okay, yeah, are cringe, but let me simplify the title here. They will be needed. There we go. Okay. So Republicans and Dems are cringe, but they will be needed. What in the hell does that mean? Okay, well, it's kind of self-explanatory, but just in case. You're not going to get rid of all the judges in the United States. You're not going to get rid of all the, you know, for example, the public, the comptroller's office or whoever else, who get elected in and who have to choose either Democrat or Republican. They don't really care either way because ultimately they're going to do their job regardless. And, in many cases, they're not going to show loyalty. It's so ironic that if you're a judge and that you have to choose between being a Democrat or Republican when you're supposed to be, impartial. Anywho, that's another one of those fickle things about the U.S. and how politics is just cringe. But anyway, that's one part of it. To say, yeah, politicians are one thing, but judges and lawyers and and DAs and everything else, those folks are still going to be needed within the system, and you're going to reach out to those folks, so they're going to be needed. The politicians on a bigger level, you can cherry pick them and decide which ones are worth it and which ones aren't. Because a lot of them are pretty fucking useless. Let's be honest. It's like when you're talking about Turtle Man, what's his name? Mitch McConnell. You're dealing with the guy. I mean, Turtle Man. I think the way we should do this instead. No, go sit down, Grandpa. Go back and sit in your chair or whatever. We don't care about your opinion. Same thing with Pelosi. We don't care. But other folks that are more influential, that actually do something other than, make their political points and hope that they can get noticed on CNN, those folks may be needed. Like I say, I'll put it this way. A lot of the National Socialists today, especially in the U.S., like the TRS crowd, they don't really talk as much about the fact that, you did have, Hjalmar Schacht, the, more of a liberal who did run the government, who did run the day-to-day operations of the government, and of course he came from the Weimar era. And there are other folks too that were part of it that were, kind of incorporated into it. Now, of course, Hjalmar Schacht was later kind of, was pushed out and was kind of, put into a corner. I mean, you could say the same thing for people like Conrad. I'm trying to think of his name now. Conrad Neurath. Neurath? Is that it? Yeah, Conrad von Neurath. That's it. Yeah, Conrad von Neurath. Yeah. Oh, Konstantin von Neurath. Excuse me. Yeah, Konstantin von Neurath. Let me see here. So, which party was Protector of Bohemia and Moravia? Let's see here. So, I'm trying to see here. So, he's appointed by Friedrich Ebert, the Suck-Dem president, 1919. Minister to Denmark. Like I say, I'm giving you some examples. Yeah, and of course you have Kurt von Schleicher, who was killed because he was trying to play all these different sides and ultimately lost out. But he was, like I say, he wasn't necessarily a politician. And I think that's the real question, isn't it? And I think Wignats, I know, Nat socks, Wignats, I know. I use those terms interchangeably, but is that you're going to have to work with these types of folks. I think that the left in general, the more intelligent left, to a point, I still think that they're reformists and just suck Dems who really just are like, well, we just don't like the Republicans, but ultimately they'll still make deals with them, you know. But the thing is that they'll give lip service to AOC. They will give lip service to Biden because they want to try to create some reformism, you know. Whereas Wignats today, at least in general, they don't really want to reach out to these folks, you know. I guess maybe kind of Richard Spencer does by voting for Biden. I don't know. But that's the difference, though, isn't it? Where you have to reach out to some folks that are more loyalists to the Republican Democratic Party. And I think that's what's going to occur, you know, is that, you know, yeah, balkanization is what, you know, people like me think is going to happen. But you have to be able to reach out to these folks and make some sort of deals and say, hey, you could join us and, you know, do this and you can have your fancy house or whatever, you know, like I said, this is the way you influence people, quote unquote, you know. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say on that. It's just a matter of you have to be able to talk to some folks that are on the edge of the establishment, not straight up to the establishment. Like I say, you know, Mitch McConnell, he's not worth talking to. Ted Cruz, no. These are worthless people who will give lip service and then will just be like, I didn't do anything, you know. Or people like Josh Hawley as well, you know, who will, you know, fist pump and all that, you know. Yeah, go in the Capitol, and then of course when it comes down to, I didn't do anything I didn't go in there. So these types of folks are hypocrites, but you just have to be able to find the ones that are worth it, in your opinion. Anywho, I think that's all I have to say. Hopefully y'all enjoy that. See you later, and a goodbye.